Arlington National Cemetery has opened a new section of grave sites amid proposals to place restrictions on military personnel who may be buried there. The cemetery, located in Arlington, Virginia, opened its 27-acre Millennium site on Thursday afternoon. Two Civil War soldiers recently discovered at a Northern Virginia battlefield were buried as part of a ceremony to mark the opening. The expansion will add 27,000 spaces, including more than 16,000 reserved for cremated remains in a new columbarium. The first ground burials in the new location will be two unidentified sets of remains found among severed limbs in a surgeon's pit at Manassas National Battlefield Park. Experts believe the two were Union soldiers who died during the Second Battle of Bull Run in 1862. The military, which runs the cemetery, is considering restricting eligibility requirements to preserve the cemetery's ability to accept more burials. Approximately 420,000 veterans and their spouses, from service members to former presidents, have found a final resting place at Arlington. Every year, 7,000 more people are buried with military honors there. But at the current pace, Arlington will reach its capacity within about 25 years. Share this article. Earlier this month, The Times reported that the Army wants to maintain the Arlington ritual for at least another 150 years. However, with no way to physically expand cemetery grounds, which is encircled by highways in development, the only way to avoid overcrowding is to restrict who can be buried in the military cemetery opened during the Civil War. One proposal would allot Arlington plots only to service members killed in action or bestowed the military's highest award, the Medal of Honor. But undermining the egalitarian promise of Arlington as a final resting place for ordinary veterans has also sparked debate. Veterans of foreign wars who deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan, and has 1.7 million veterans, has adamantly opposed the proposed restrictions. Since its inception in 1864, Arlington National Cemetery has been a burial ground for military personnel. In addition to the graves of fallen war heroes, it's also the resting place for veterans who have gone on to prominence in other fields. The following is a list of famous graves and memorials at Arlington National Cemetery. After his assassination in 1963, President John F. Kennedy was laid to rest in Arlington. Each year, millions of people visit the gravesite of the 35th president, marked by an eternal flame. Another one of the famous graves at Arlington National Cemetery includes that of former First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, who was laid to rest next to President Kennedy on May 23, 1994. JFK's brother, former attorney